Hello, and welcome to tonight's Streamline Dev Stream, where we're going to be working through some design work on Streamline. Coppice is done for now. We have it fully released as of Monday, and that seems to be going well. Not had any complaints about it, so that's hopefully good. And as we started last time, we are working through designing Streamline to see what happens there. Hello, Fanite! Welcome everyone else to the stream. I have literally just started. How was the rest of your stream? I obviously had to dip out to get to my stream. So how was the rest of your stream that I missed the last probably 10 minutes of it? Let's switch over to the main display so I can show you everything that is going on. Thank you for the stretch rug, Matt. Unfortunately, it's about the only real redeem that I have at the moment. I haven't got all the fancy bells and whistles of Finite Stream, though I am going to be starting working on that, hopefully in a few weeks, and hopefully get something, start working on something a bit more interesting. I'm probably going to be dealing with Blender and Unity there to build a bit of an interactive 3D environment for my stream to take place in. Thank you for the follow, Slotho and Shunga Yunga. And yes, as I almost forgot, give a shout out, though pretty much everyone in the stream has come from Finite Stream, so hope you are all doing well. It is, well, 6 PM for me. So, as I said, I have just released the latest version of my app, Coppice, which is here. That's okay, fine. Have a great lunch, and yeah, hopefully see you again. Thank you very much for raiding. So, I've just released the latest version of my app, Coppice, which is a Mac app. And it is a Mac app. Actually, let's delete this and get a clean sample document up. Hey Dragon Dust, I am doing quite well. How are you doing today? So, this is Coppice, for the many of you who probably have never seen this before. Let me hide my sidebar so I can show you a bit more clearly. So, Coppice lets you just store various bits of information, text, images, and so on. And what you can do is you can link them together. So I can, for example, click here on Pages, and it takes me to Pages. I can click on Text Pages, and it takes me here. If I go back to Page and click on Creating a Page, I can just jump around. So what you can do with Coppice, though, is when you get to the canvases, this is where it becomes a lot more interesting than just, oh, it's a note-taking app with links. Because these now open on a canvas with arrows pointing between them, and Coppice will actually remember if you have lots of multiple pages open. So if I was to close this all down and open it up again, it opens everything up, and I can go around and create all sorts of things that spread out all over, letting you basically keep track of everything. And I've used this for learning various bits of programming. When I was building all the backend system, I was using a development version of Coppice to keep track of all my programming notes. When building Coppice, I've used it to create the sample document, but I've also got, for example, a press kit, which I've thrown together as a PDF, but also as a Coppice document. And one of the main things I use it for myself is planning Dungeons and Dragons. So, for example, this is all of my information on one of the on the first adventure. I have a canvas down here that is all information about a place called Pinegrasp and all the various bits and pieces in there, and it links out so I can find, like, in Pinegrasp there's Pinegrasp Barracks, and in the barracks there's someone called Captain Goya, and it just helps you basically keep your notes together, and rather than just throwing them all in there and forgetting about them, as every other notes app does, it lets you bring them out. However, I've been doing some rather cool improvements for this latest release, and it all focuses on images. So, simple ones are you can crop and rotate. So I can rotate that, and in fact, let me bring in, there we go, world map. So something nice and big, so you can rotate it. If you want to crop it, you can go and crop in. So we'll just go here, and let's say we want to actually crop down here, and we can go down, and then we switch back. It's all cropped down. Now, it's still all there. This is all non-destructive cropping, and it has full undo and redo. But it gets even better. Because one thing that you can do in Coppice, as I said, is link. So if I want to, for example, link this to, for example, Coppice logo, I select it, go here, just type Coppice, Coppice logo, and voila, it's linking. But that's some text. What if I want to link from an image to something? What if I, for example, wanted a text page called Irios? So what I can do now, in the latest version, is I can go here. Actually, it's interesting, that's a bug. I'm sure I fixed that. Okay, well, we found a bug. So we will deal with that. Let's actually delete that and find, let's see, world map small. There we go. Right, so I can show it you when I don't actually show off a bug. So what I can do now is draw hotspots over. Click the hotspots, and I could, I mean, I don't have a page called Irios, but I could type Irios and create a text page. So if I'm in here and I'm viewing it and I click on that, it finds it. However, it gets even better. So let's create a fresh canvas. Let's stick this on here. We've got this here, and again it will show this stuff up. But the paid version has auto-linking. So if I was to bring out, for example, pages, and I was to create a text page, and I was to title this, let's say representing, or representing a fort. It has created a link here. Cool feature I have added in this latest version, and I don't know how well it will work on this map, but if I was, for example, to type Lokesh bar, it's found the text in the image and created a link. If I click on that, it opens it up now here, and it's created that link there, but I could change this to, let's try Osmel. So it's found that text down here. These ones are kind of small. If I type other settlement, no, that's a bit too small for it to pick up. No, it picks up ruin. So it's this is all using Apple's Vision APIs that they include to basically do all of the text detection, find out where it is, and get all of this hooked up and working. So that is Coppice, and that's what I've been working on for the past several months since I've started streaming, and it is what I released on Monday. this latest version with all these image improvements, which has been quite good to finally get it out there. It's, I won't say a side project. I spend most of my week contracting, and then I spend the rest of the week working on Coppice. But as Coppice has just been released, I'm doing a bit of a palette cleanser and working on a new app idea I had, which is called Streamline. Well, it's called Streamline at the moment, and that's just a code name. I'll probably come up with a better name down the line. But the idea behind Streamline is something to help deal with playing music. Especially, for example, on streams. One of the big problems I have is I have a bit of a Rube Goldberg machine getting music from the music app into OBS. It's like between music, OBS, there are 2 other apps that it has to funnel through to get there, and there's a lot of setting stuff up. So that's one thing that is a bit of a pain point. And the other thing is that, for example, I have some tracks I have vocals on, and when I'm just starting the stream like this and spending more time speaking, I don't want to have vocals playing. So what I have to do is basically go through and shuffle it manually. So what I want to do is have it where I can set up a stream and set up scenes within the stream. So for example, I could have an intro scene, which is going to play a particular playlist, and I could have determine whether it's going to shuffle, how it transitions between other scenes, and what happens when it finishes. So here you'd have intro would end its final song and then go to main, and then main would just keep repeating, and if I change to something else it would immediately crossfade. So this is what I'm currently designing, currently hoping to build, and what I have been struggling with on Monday, trying to design what to actually do here with these scenes. And the thing is, this is useful for more than just streams. It could be useful for if you're running like a tabletop RPG or something like that, where you want to have different playlists for different environments. Potentially if you are doing some sort of theatre production or something like that, potentially. So basically anything where you've got a bunch of playlists and you want to be able to switch between them and control when they play. So that is what I'm building, and what we're trying to design here is essentially what will these scenes look like. When you've clicked on the stream, you should have all these scenes up here, and these should be things that you can click between to switch between them. And how do we actually design that? What sort of information do we want to be visible? So let's bring the sidebar back in so we can see chat. So I'm trying to work out exactly what to do here. So I've come up with 4 designs so far. This very basic one that I don't particularly like does throw in all the information. So we need to display the title of the scene, and then which playlist plays in that scene, whether or not it shuffles, transition, and the end action. And for transitions, we have a few options. You can end the song and then it will transition. You can have it immediately skip and just cut straight to the next song, or you can crossfade between them. There will also be actions where once it finishes playing through, it will stop, it will repeat, or you can have it go to another scene. And potentially, if you, for example, have main as your usual scene and you want to play a little playlist, for example, when someone raids you, like Finite, you could have a scene that you click on it when a raid happens and it will automatically then go back to the previous scene. So that's the sort of thing I'm wanting to build, and it's just working out how to convey all the information. From a purely visual point of view, I've got so many Lorem Ipsum things here. Let's delete those. So I really like the bottom ones from a visual point of view. The problem is, these icons don't really mean much. So you can roughly tell that the first one is whether or not it's shuffled. Though the question is which one is enabled and which one is disabled. Then you need icons for like what the transition is, and I'm trying to use SF symbols, but unfortunately SF symbols does not have symbols to do what I want, so I'd have to create. And then there is the end action. So what I think I'm going to do is try a new option. And the option is going to be based off option 3. But I think what we're going to do is let's just get rid of those icons at the top. And I think what we're going to do is... wrong one. Option 3, there we go. We want to get rid of those icons. Okay, so how is everyone in chat doing today? Have you been up to much? How's your day going? Or your evening, or whatever time it is where you are? Oh, Dragon Dust, sorry I missed that. You're waiting to get some in-app purchase subscriptions approved. Good luck, and hopefully they all get approved fairly quickly. It's always a bit worrying when you go through the process of, is Apple going to approve this? Everything is technically right, but it depends how fickle the app reviewers are being today. Yeah, that's both weird and annoying that they will approve the app but look at the in-app purchases separately. I assume that they have separate teams for that. To like one looks at the in-app purchases, one looks at the app. That's the only explanation I can have for why they delay, because if you've got them, why would you ship an app with in-app purchases without the in-app purchases enabled? So right, so I think what we may try this option 4, and from option 2 let's copy this down to, yeah. It can very much be a problem. I have heard of people who have released an app and not realized that they haven't enabled that, and they've shipped, and then it's like, oh no, like nothing is, like our in-app purchases are not working. Our app's out there, but nobody can buy it. So what I'm thinking is we could have this as sort of a standard state, but then you could have a show details song. And action. Go to main. Alright. Member. Right. I want to move down. Say back A. Shift to there. Now we're going to shift down. Okay. So, what I want to do, position these here. What I'm thinking is else. Let's copy that into there. And what I want is virtual. Well, let's convert that and that, that and that, and I'm going to delete these. To drag that on there. Clear layer style. Make this black. Make it behind. And then overlay. So we're probably going to want to tweak this bit. What size is that? That's 11 point. We're probably going to want to tweak the spacing, but as something where copy that over to here. Oh, yes. Transition, crossfade, reduction, 8. Background. Opacity. That works. Alright. We change the opacity on this one as well. By the way, if anyone has any questions about what I'm doing, or about Mac development, or just development in general, feel free to post them in chat. I'm always happy to give answers to stuff. I'm fully aware that I am one of the very few people on Twitch who streams AppKit development, so especially if you're interested in AppKit development, I'm one of the few people you can go to on Twitch to get answers about that. I've actually been feeling a bit nostalgic recently because of Apple discontinuing the iPod. Because the first app I ever shipped was actually, it didn't run on the iPod, but it was for the iPod. And I don't mean the iPod Touch, I mean like the original iPod with the click wheel that could only play music on, or you could play audio, you could play videos or have photos, and the key thing that you could have was notes. And I ended up working on an app that let you put those notes onto an iPod. And one of the key features that you actually had was you could do certain HTML tags inside those notes. You could have them like some basic styling, but you could in particular link to stuff. So you could link to other notes, you could link to music, you could link to video, and so on. So I ended up building an app, porting an app, because there was a Windows version already, but bringing an app to the Mac to let you basically create a set of linked notes, which ironically has come a bit full circle with Coppice, given it's all about linking notes. It says my entire career has been about linking notes. But that is essentially my first app, the first app that I shipped and sold, and it was for the iPod. And I've been feeling a little bit nostalgic because the iPod has gone away. It is no more, and it is sad to see it go. Right, do that. Another option here. Let's take option 4. I'm going to do option 4, but with icons. What we're going to do is this. To take the icon there. We'll use that for transition. And right, we need to look for something that we can use for end action. Now, action ellipses? No. We don't want it to be stop, we want it to be like N. Anything for N. Suppose we could do a I suppose we could use that for what you do at the end. At the end action. And what the idea would be is we'd make this 11 point. I would do this point. We're going to have to extract these out. Those have to be so probably that. So I'm hoping, as I say, to make the stream a lot more interactive in future. Because as I've been watching Fire Night stream, there's been a lot of cool ideas in there. But also there's another stream that I watched, which was the stream that really got me started on streaming, which is the rather excellent Swift stream. And Swift are a set of it's two artists, animators. Doig is an art director, and Swift is a storyboarder for animation, and what they have done on their stream, they do a lot of stuff on working on animation and stuff like that, but they've basically built almost a game in Unity where they have little characters that can run around the environment. Chat can interact with them, they can throw bombs and stuff. When a raid comes in, you get something a bit similar to, it's the closest thing to like the game element of Chalk Boom that they have, which is when a raid comes in, they are on an airship. So another pirate ship comes in, and it shows like the image of the streamer coming in, but there are all these little bouncing jelly cats, which are just little cat-shaped balls of jelly that appear on the pirate ship coming to invade. And chat can redeem bombs, and chat has to try and basically bomb all of the jelly cats, and the number of jelly cats is however many people they've brought over. And if chat wins, then the ship, like the raiders ship, blows up. But if the raiders win, all the remaining jelly cats that survived appear on the stream and stick around. So it's been fun watching their stream, getting to learn all the how everything works in terms of building all this in Unity, and it's just something that I'd want to build as well. So I'm going to be trying my hand at Blender and Unity and stuff like that, trying to see what I can do in the stream to build this up and make it a bit more interactive. I've started getting ideas for where I want to go with it. So we'll see how that goes in future. Right. Those up. So, and bring this one up. Now the problem here is go to, and you could have a very long thing. So the question is, do we leave that up there? Do we like vertically center it? Because vertically centering it really match anything else. I would leave it at the top. That aligned with that. Yeah, because if we do that, we probably want this to be a bit bigger. Resize that and bring it down. This is very much how I end up doing app design, because I know some people, they prefer throwing everything in, just building it actually in app and testing it out there. I'm very much a create a fairly high resolution version, so I don't really do like wireframes and stuff like that. I'll come up with like rough wireframe ideas, but I very much like building up these high resolution versions where you've got all the details like the icons and such. I'll end up tweaking stuff like alignment. I'm not very precise on those, but I think this here may be the winner, because you could have that, and then you could have a details version which basically shows that. Ooh, and I have literally just had an idea for how to edit. I want to. So I've been going a little bit old school with some of this, I'm bringing subtle 3D back to UI, where up here I have slight shadow at the top and a slight highlight at the bottom. Here I've got a shadow under this and so on, because let's be honest here, UI design really fell apart when everything went flat. I have just realised one thing I wanted to do was stick some drop shadows on these, but I can do that in the next step. So what we're going to do here is this is going to be stream drafts. Then what we're going to do is copy it. This is just going to be stream. I'm going to close the drafts. I'm going to delete all of these other options. We will delete main scene. And we've got our intro, which we up to there. And what I want to do on here is add a drop shadow. I want to have a bit more 3D. Do with the stroke, which is at 80%. Bit about. So I'll probably end up tweaking some of these colours. At the moment, this is just like the system red, so I'm just using this because it's easy to throw in. So what I want to do, what I was thinking for how you would edit these is I want it that you can click on and it would actually take you, like you just click on it and that selects, no actually maybe double click is a bit safer, maybe that could be an option. But when you actually edit it, there's going to be another UI that lets you edit various aspects of it, and that's what we're going to try design now. And I literally had an idea. I was thinking, oh, I'll stick it in a popover. But what if, again, going old school like all this, we went very old school, and these little cards here, we did a card flip up into the middle. So what we would effectively do is if what I want to do is like for that, copy, paste. So what it would do is basically, well, it would go from here to here, flipping around to the back and scaling up into the middle to basically show all the UI behind it. So I think that could be quite a fun thing to do. Okay, let's just throw a few more things. So we're going to have intro, and let's set this up as though we were setting it up. We'll get rid of the why is it still?
Welcome.
Why is that not hiding anything? I'm showing and hiding the layer, but okay, let's save, close, open again. No, I can hide the whole thing. Oh, is that? There we are, I'd forgotten to delete the pasted thing. Right, so if we drag another thing along, and let's call this town, and we'll hide details, and that's going to be playlist 2. That's battle playlist 3. Outro. Playlist. Go back to playlist 1. Playlist 3. So let's just change a few of these colours. Where are we? Green. That text colour. System blue. Is that hex colour? Do that. That's for the town scene. Go battle scene. Just to give this a bit of variety. Let's do one more. To go. System purple colour. Because that's what I have set for my highlights and such. So the outro. Okay, very colourful. So collapse that up and let's distribute those. Right, so we have stream. What we want to have is editing. So for editing, what we're probably going to want to do, don't want a radius. Now this is going to be easy, just like that. Hi Snowtwig, it is going well. How are things with you? I am just doing some design work on an app that hopefully, if I can get the basics designed tonight, I can maybe start working on it this weekend. Alright, let's fill that in, let's say 40%-ish. And no, this isn't Coppice, this is a new app idea called, it's currently called Streamline, which is sort of a music player, but with a bit more power in the playing side of it. So the idea is rather than just having a single playlist that you play through, you have scenes, and scenes can be assigned playlists. They can have, like, they can determine, do I shuffle that playlist to play it in order? You can say what happens when you finish the playlist. Do you go to another scene? Do you repeat? Do you just stop? And you can set up what happens when you transition. If I want to transition, for example, from intro to town, do I wait for the song to end, like the currently playing song, before starting playing songs from the town scene? Do I want to have it immediately just skip to the next song? Or do I want it to crossfade between them, and so on? So it's building it partly for my use to control stream music, so I can, for example, have a playlist that just contains songs that don't have any audio, any vocals on for the intro, and then I'll have a main one that plays the rest of the time. But here I'm just testing it out as though you were doing this for running like a D&D game or something, where you have scenes for different environments. So you can set it up and have it play through different things. So it's almost like a soundboard for playlists, in a sense. Yeah, it's I've always struggled with app ideas. Like the first time I had passed being an indie dev, I had loads of app ideas because I ended up at one point with like 5 apps. But since then I've had like a dearth of app ideas, and this is only really the second one I've had. I mean, I've had lots of like little ideas for apps, but they've never gone anywhere. But this is the second one that's really felt like it's something I could put out there and sell. Initially it was just going to be a little something that I built for myself, but I figured, why not build it on stream and then throw it up on the App Store at the end of the day and stick a price on it and see how it goes. Worst case scenario is that it doesn't sell, but I have an app to solve a need I have, and I've learnt some stuff. So the benefit of not quitting your day job to go and start building stuff, it means that you don't have to rely on things. You can take your time, you can use it as a learning experience, something that you just do for enjoyment, or something that you can let grow slowly over time. No, I actually started it a few months, maybe about a month or two ago. It was something that I started doing on these Wednesday evening streams. I just started working on it and got to a point where it's a point that I get to with most apps, which is you get stuck on what do I want this to do. Like, you come up with an idea for an app, you think, oh, this is great, I'm going to come up with this app, I'm going to start building it, and you start typing away and prototyping it and so on, and you get to a point where you realise, or at least I do, where I realise I don't know where to go with it. Like, I haven't gotten this in and made it really concrete. There are things that aren't really clicking, and it's usually at that point that I realise I need to sit down and really focus on what exactly I am building. What are the core concepts? Like, I've struggled with this whole idea of what does this stream thing do? Because initially the idea was you'd have playlists and you'd throw items into a playlist, and you'd also have what were called sections initially in the playlist, and it's a case of, well, maybe some of these you want to start at certain times, but then you've got a linear thing, and it was getting very complex. And it was my friend, good friend Steve Troughton Smith, who I believe it was last Wednesday, we were going through stuff like this, and he just recommended what about treating it as scenes? what if it actually just ended up being you've got like these scenes and you switch between them and it's as simple as that? I mean, I'd had from a UI point of view the idea of shortcuts to show basically like you've just got a grid of these items that you can click between. So that's roughly, that's actually a fair point. You hover over, you get a play button, so you can select them, but then you click on the play button to play. That could be a good way to actually get this showing up for how you actually work out how you switch between them. You hover over and you get a play button above. Let's just fill that in. So let's expand that up to, let's say, 4 point. Looks like that is a little bit translucent. Okay, that will. Yeah, I think that will work as a thing of how you distinguish between clicking on something to select it, because you may want to rearrange things, and actually playing it. There you go. If in doubt, you go and look at what Apple does and then tweak it and do it better. So we'll shift that out of editing. Now. Right. So what we want to do now is test editing. So what we probably want what we also broke on there. Then we need to work out what actual UI elements we want in. So let's just list them. So title is going to be next on playlist would be not segmented control, a pop-up. At least for now, the way I'm going to build it internally is I'm going to build it where it can have multiple playlists. It's always easier to build something that supports a multiple of something and only use it for one thing than it is to build something that only supports one thing and then later realize you need it to support multiple. So for shuffle, we just need a switch. Transition, that is going to be a pop-up, and then there's going to be extra UI for option. And same for end. That's going to be yeah, pop-up and extra UI. Could be a segmented control maybe. Oh, a potential duration. Want a duration? As you can have the duration be based off the playlist, like it gets to the end and it switches. So yeah, I think we'll get rid of there being the duration. We're not going to have a filter because what I'm going to do is for playlists, normally for a playlist you drag stuff in. Or you can create a smart playlist where you filter based off the library. But the idea, rather than having the filter seen, you'll be able to create a new playlist and say, okay, add these filters, but rather than adding them to all of your tracks, you add them to a playlist, effectively. It's like this, like playlist 4 can be pointing at playlist 2 and filter it down, or it can point at the tracks and filter that down. So you're basically already filtering it by some degree. But yeah, this shouldn't be too difficult to design. So what I'm going to do is open up. No, I don't want that on. To go and find. It's fine. I want to throw some controls in. So let's grab a button, text field. Button. And what else do we want? Which... That's for the extra UI, probably a table. No. Because for the transitions you can have end, finish current song, no options needed there. Skip to the next song, no options needed there. Crossfade is going to need a slider potential. Do we want a slider? Do we want a text field? Let's see how long it is. Probably a text field. And then the end, you can have go to a scene. That's where we probably want a pop-up. You are going to be able to repeat, or you're going to be able to stop, either of which you need. So I think we should be good with these controls here. Now, let's just copy these, paste them in here. Okay, so we've got those in. So what I'm going to do, as we're about halfway through the stream, I'm going to take a short break, and when I get back I will start working on this edit UI, and hopefully we can get that all implemented. So I will see you all in a few minutes. Okay, I am back. Sorry about that extended delay. I just need to actually, while we are still on the Be Right Back, send a quick email. Because I've been having trouble with kids outside who have been kicking footballs and throwing rubbish. Well, kicking footballs at my house, throwing rubbish in the garden, doing that next door as well. Where they have, and for those of you who love finite dogs and maybe dogs of your own, will appreciate how terrible this is, throwing chocolate into next door's backyard knowing full well they have a dog there. So they have been very naughty children, and they've had people who have had words with them. And they have they've had children, they've had the police have words with them, and I just had to phone up my local support officer again, so I just need to send them some details. It's always fun to have happen on stream when you have to phone the police midway through the stream, but hopefully you've enjoyed the break. They've all throughout the start of the stream they have been messing about outside, and the really annoying thing is I give most of them the benefit of the doubt, and I want to like find out exactly which ones are causing the problem, because a lot of the kids are just want to play football. They just want to play out there, have a good time, make a bit of noise, and be kids. But unfortunately, some of them seem to want to some of them seem to want to just cause trouble. I actually caught one of them yesterday jumping into my garden. I got a text from one of the neighbours saying, "Oh, you've had someone come out your side gate." Okay, so I go down, have a look, and the side gate's only partially locked. So I go and open and see that they kick a football over. So what do? I go and open the gate and just stand there and watch as someone climbs over the fence into the garden. I shout at them and they just look at me and go, "Oh, just need to get the ball back." And then as I go towards them, they jump over the fence again. So I just need to send hopefully I got a video of one of them kicking a football at one of my windows. So I just want to send that across. Now let's see if I can. Hey, it's not really what I wanted to have to deal with midway through a stream, but such is life. I just want to get this sent across, and once it's sent across, we can get back to the enjoyable part of the stream, which is actually doing some coding. I can make that smaller. So how is everyone in chat? Have you had anything interesting happen during your day? As interesting as has happened during mine? Right. So. Okay, that has sent, so I can delete that. That on stream. Put that. And let's get back into it. Looking at stuff that is far more interesting and engaging. Oh, that's a fair point. Probably want like an icon choose as well, because I want to be able to choose the icon. So how does that actually work in shortcuts? If, for example, I go into here. Okay, so that's a popover where you can select SF symbols and you can select color. Okay. So what we will probably do just take a screenshot of that, bring that in as well, because we're gonna let the user choose the colors. So what I think we want is this over to here. First off, we're going to have our title. So we're going to this gold. We're going to have the playlist beneath it, and this is going to be 13 points regular. What we want is pop up. In fact, you know what would be easier? Designing it in here. So let's just delete all those, and first off let's throw an NS box in there, because an NS box lets us do custom background. So what we're going to do, not for the border colour, or the fill colour, we're going to do custom, and like that colour. So we'll get that colour in, border type none, no radius on there. Okay, so let's get a text field in. I'm going to say intro. Now what we probably want to do is that, and we want to do system semi-bold. Let's make that 20. We're gonna have the intro, and then we want a pop-up button. It's gonna be playlist 1, playlist 2, and so on. Label. So that's going to be our playlist. What other things do we want? We want our shuffle switch. Oh, for some reason I keep doing that. I keep bringing up Spotlight rather than what we have up here. Switch. So we'll put that there, and then we don't want that. We want right, let's do a segmented control. Transition is going to be song, skip, R, crossfade. And then you have crossfade selected. And what we're going to do is have a text field, which is probably going to be a small text field with a small label and be duration. Too great, but we'll get the basics in. Suppose we could have on end be stop be daughter, you would have small. Main battle now. Huh. Well, let's try pop-up button. Going to be end current song. Going to have end current song, skip, or again, and stop. You're going to repeat, go to C. Get this fairly narrow. Move this down. And we can this we want to be semi-bold and secondary label. And what we can throw up here is then you'd have your icon. Ah, we could throw up there. That have on. And then you could have the icon there. Okay, so let's take this as our basic setup. And we can delete that, paste this in, get rid of intro and playlist, stick this here. What I want, select that, have a rectangle, two, Stroke. Body and shadow. Okay. Want copy that. Paste. Here, up here. On here, we want to take go a long bit. Let's take this. Let's take our rectangle and size it down. That needs to be that. That's it. That up there like that. Yeah, I think we're getting somewhere here. Going to don't want to size that down. What we want to do is take controls, shift along. I think that is looking good. What do you think in chat? Get rid of that. Get rid of that. So if you imagine it, you're gonna like have a double click or right click or whatever it is to edit it, and it will then flip out to show all of the options that you can configure for it. I think that works. So, yeah. That's editing. Got our stream stuff up there. So, signed scene. And the stream header we don't really need to do because the only thing that would really be in there is the stream title. You have the stream title, maybe like the show additional info thing. So the next thing that we want to do is one feature I want to add to Streamline. which is get rid of that. Basically, one feature I want to have is customizable like playback display, because I want to be able to display that on the stream and basically have some UI that I can do a window capture on OBS and just capture that onto the stream and have it display in my overlay. And what I want to have is the ability to customize that. Maybe we do want a header, because what we want is you want your streams, but then you want a separate thing where you can go into the edit mode for the stream overlay. And what the idea is what we have up here for the playback stuff should in theory be built using the same thing. So this would be like just a standard overlay thing up here, but the idea would be that you can customize it however you want, but I would use the same system to build this up here. So if it has the capability of doing stuff up here, then it has the capability of doing it for anything. So let's get a header. I want the color. Something like that too. Top shadow. And this is, maybe just want to border on side. Opacity. Oh, right. So what we want, copy that. Wait, let's just do what I think it did. Oh my god, I never knew that. select something in Interface Builder and you hit Command C to copy it, you can then paste it into Photoshop and it goes in with full transparency. How, after developing apps for getting on for 18 years, using Xcode, using Photoshop, have I only just learnt that? That has to be something that they've only added not too long ago. That is kind of mind-blowing. Okay, so we want up here, we don't want stemboard, we want regular. 11 points, want it to. But then what I want to do, I want segmented control. Right. Play back. That's the no, not that one. It's rounded direct to that one. So what you're going to be able to do is switch between scenes and switch between the playback display. So you're going to have I heard that, and then we're going to plan out what we want to be able to change in the playback this way. So what you're going to be able to have song title, artist, well, let's call it song info. It's going to be artist / album. Duration. Current time. Playback bar. Just probably going to want a background. And what properties do we want? Well, the background, you're going to have a colour, a border colour, on a radius. Playback bar. That's background colour. It's probably not the best thing, but the completed colour. Border colour and corner radius. Sometimes you can font, colour, position, font, colour, position. And you're gonna have font, colour, position. I mean, for all of these, you probably want alignment, and in this case, you want text. So what we may be able to do is instead have something a bit more freeform, where you can have a label, and the label has a font, colour, position, alignment, and then the text. And the text can be static text, or it can be yeah, it can be static text, or it can be tokens. Then you've got a playback bar is a special case, background is a special case. Maybe you want to have an image in there. Have size, position. Now the positioning is going to be the hard bit, because you want some of these to be it may depend on where things are, at least in terms of the labels. Like, you may want it, I suppose if you want something like it says Starlight Brigade and then to work together through time or whatever, you just have it all be in one label. And then for the actual label, what you can do is you can say, like, where do you want it positioned in terms of how far from the top, the left, the right, and the bottom. Or you can maybe line it up based on like whether you want to position it from the top left to the bottom left or from the center, and do it that way. So yeah, I think that's possible, but I think what we have at the moment is enough to actually start working on the scene. So I think what we might do on the next stream is actually get started on implementing all this, getting the sidebar in there, get it so you can drag stuff in, get playlists working, and then start building up the scenes side of this. Because with all that, we can actually get it playing back. This whole playback display thing is relatively... it's almost a self-contained thing. It's something I would like to have, but just to get it to the point where I can start using this for the stream, I don't need it. And we can start working on getting this working. Like, get the design for it later, because it is going to be one of the more advanced bits, because it's basically a full layout system for this. So yes, no, Truck Starlight Brigade is pretty fantastic. Do I have it? Let's bring Starlight Brigade up. Play some Starlight Brigade and get that out there. A good way to end the stream. But yeah, I think you'd potentially want a label, you'd potentially want an image. And if anyone out there is sort of a streamer and you think about what you would want in terms of showing what you would like, showing what is playing and having that display like on the stream, is there anything that you could think of besides like labels that can contain information about what's playing, potentially images, being able to customize the background of it? Because I mean, in a lot of cases, it may be a case of someone just sets the background to like a chroma key color so they can key out the background. You'd want the playback bar. For the image, potentially album artwork. Why offline? Stable. Can everyone hear me? Twitch is saying that I've got an unstable connection, but nothing seems to be going wrong. Odd. Maybe Twitch is just messing up for some reason. Okay, so what I came up with the idea of is potentially one of the images, a very useful image to have, will be the album artwork. So, not sure what went wrong there, but okay. So I think what we will do is end the stream there. So hopefully, let's just refresh Twitch and see. Yeah, that's showing up. So let's finish off and let us go and raid. Ooh, Kurzek's just got on. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish up and we're going to raid Kurzek. So I want to thank you all for coming. Thank you to Finite for the stream. It has been a fantastic stream, got a lot done, a lot of great design stuff, and I think what we'll do is, oh, someone's at the bell, so we'll go and raid, and as always, thank you and happy building.